4 years. How do you go through $314 million in 4 years? Bro, everybody else, I don't even really want to see the rest of the video after this. People of YouTube, it's your boy, Chucky Mike. Hey, listen, if you ever went to Chipotle later in the day, you know, like 9 o'clock and after, right? And you stood in line just to get to the front for them to tell you, hey, we all out of chicken. Now you at Salty at home watching YouTube. You came to the right place. Cue the intro. What's up, people? It's your boy, Chucky Mike. You a first timer. Welcome to the channel. Appreciate you for being here with me. Today it's a little different. I usually do a lot of Family Guy stuff, but today we're gonna be reacting to the dumbest lottery winners. Obviously money is a great thing, or it can be a great thing, but it only makes you more of what you are. So if you do cocaine, you just gonna do a hell of a lot more cocaine. If you're an asshole, you're just gonna be that much more of an asshole. If you're a nice person, you're just gonna be even extremely more nice person. So that's all money does. But enough talking, let's get into this reaction.
That giving millions of dollars to someone with minimal common sense doesn't tend to work out too well. But that's exactly what can and does happen every now and then, thanks to a little thing called the lottery. If you're ready to learn about the myriad of ways you can blow through millions fast, let's take a look at the dumbest lottery winners of all time. Evelyn Adams. There are many reasonable ways to use your money if you win the lottery, but gambling it all away is definitely not one of them. Evelyn Adams was a clerk at a convenience store who won the lottery not once, but twice in 1985 and 86, winning a combined total of $5.4 million. Both wins occurred in the span of just 4 months after she began spending $100 on the lottery every week. But don't be swayed into thinking doing something like that substantially increases your chances of winning. The odds were still astronomically against her. She just got extremely lucky. Evelyn's big wins paid out at $218,000 a year rather than all at once. But this inability to blow it all in one go wouldn't stop her making some colossal mistakes. After giving a lot of her winnings away to family and friends, and losing huge amounts on failed business deals, she decided it was time to hit the tables. She became a regular at Atlantic City's finest casinos, and was someone the owners were overjoyed to welcome in. Not because of her personality, but because she was unlucky enough to lose every dime of her lottery winnings on the tables, lining the casino owners' pockets in the process. As they say in Vegas, the house always wins.
All right, so yes, the casino, you can win sometime. If you sit there, you probably have a better chance playing at a slot machine, because eventually it's designed for you after so many times to win. But when you're trying to play an actual card game or something like that you're not skilled at, the chances of you winning consistently are very low. That is probably the worst thing to do with your money. Then, like I said, if you're too nice, like she said, you was giving it away to family members, trying to help them out and stuff. And she lucky she didn't get it all at once. She probably would have lost it faster. They didn't say the span of time in which it took her to lose it, but it definitely makes sense. If you're spending $100 a week on lottery tickets, I mean, you've lost your mind. Anyway, back to the video.
Janet Leigh. At 52 years old, Janet Leigh's life underwent an enormous unexpected change when she won a whopping $18 million in 1993. She quit her job at a wig shop, moved her family into a $1 million house in St. Louis, and began donating a ton of money to charity. She became a big political donor, owning her tableside seating with Bill Clinton at donor shindigs. But despite her humble beginnings as a South Korean immigrant, she developed a taste for luxury that exceeded the $620,000 of her winnings she was receiving yearly. She leased cars and borrowed millions from banks to keep her lifestyle going and to hide the truth of her financial instability from the public. Just 8 years after winning the lottery, she filed for bankruptcy and $2.5 million of debt. The lesson? If your taste is so classy that $18 million won't cover it, you might have a problem.
That's another thing too. When you get an outrageous amount of money that you've never had before, You think in your mind, from going from broke to instantly rich like that with no financial skills, you immediately think, oh, this is gonna you just see $18 million and you don't think of how can I make more money out of this. You think, how can I see you, what can I buy with this amount of money? That's your first thought. Somebody that has some, knowledge about how finances work, they would think, okay, how much do I want to spend on luxury stuff? And then how much would I want to take to invest? That never occurs with most of these people because they never thought about that even before. So of course you're just going to lose it over amount of time. Like I said, it took her 8 years to do it. She started living this extravagant lifestyle, but you can't sustain it if you're not constantly making that amount of money. But let's continue.
Denise Rossi. In 1996, Denise Rossi won the California lottery. Instead of telling her husband, like she probably should have, she kept it secret and attempted to get a divorce with an expedited settlement.
Oh, now that's just messed up right there. See, money also will turn people evil too, especially, because money is, not a lot of people have money. Like most people are like middle class. So money will definitely it'll bring out your real character. I say it really just exposes who you really are. And that's dirty right there.
Unfortunately for Denise, her husband found out about her win, and the court ruled that she'd failed to comply with asset disclosure laws. She hadn't even disclosed her winnings to her own attorney, who could have helped her hold on to the cash had he been made aware during the divorce proceedings. By default, as per the law, her husband received the entire undisclosed $1.3 million prize. Whoopsie.
Oh, that sucks. Oh, she tried to hide it from her husband and divorce him on the low, and that's probably the biggest backfire that I've ever seen. Wow.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
Just unfortunate, man. So he got the whole amount. That's what you get trying to do some shady shit, man. Her karma just happened faster. I wonder what he did. Although that's a lot, but it wasn't like really life altering. You just would have been able to live more comfortably, but that wasn't life altering 1.3. But I wonder what the husband did with it. That's wild. You talking about saltiness. All right, let's continue.
Americo Lopez. In 2009, a lottery pool made up of co-workers at a New Jersey construction company sent one group member, Americo Lopez, to buy their weekly ticket. To Americo's astonishment, when he did, he found the group's luck had come in. Big time. But for some reason, he decided that $38.5 million just wasn't enough to be comfortably split 6 ways. So he claimed he bought the winning numbers all on his own. When his 5 co-workers took him to court, the jury ruled that he'd have to pay each of them a $2 million settlement. The stupidity wasn't that Americo tried to selfishly cash in. After all, it worked. He still walked away with $14 million after taxes. The real stupidity was that he thought his ridiculous lie would fool anyone. But I suppose being believed doesn't matter all that much when you're sitting on $14 million. Bud Post. In 1998, Bud Post pawned a ring for $40. The lottery tickets he bought with the cash turned out to be the best investment he'd ever make, since he won $16.2 million. But things started going south when Bud's on and off girlfriend took a third of the winnings, claiming in court she was the one who bought the tickets for him. Bud's brother was also out for his money and hired a hitman to try and kill him, which luckily for Bud failed. Christmas dinner must have been awkward that year. Following this brush with death, Bud splurged on houses, cars, an airplane, and a boat. These purchases began to dwindle his funds, which was made worse by constant legal fees resulting from one of Bud's unfortunate habits. That being, blasting his shotgun in the direction of people who came by his house to collect their debts. On top of that, the alimony cost of 6 separate divorces eventually led to Bud spending his elderly years on food stamps with over $1 million in debt. Alex Thomas.
That's 6 divorces? I can see once or twice, but the third time that marriage ain't work out, you just a lonely old man at that point. Why do you think he bought all that material objects to take his mind off being lonely? And I don't know how his girlfriend got some of the money though. That's insane. He need a better lawyer. He should have paid for a better lawyer than that, because that's ridiculous. By the way, if you like this content, leave me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel, because YouTube likes thumbs up. Help your boy out. Thumbs up. Let's continue.
When Alex Toth purchased the lottery ticket that would win him $13 million, he had a grand total of $25 to his name. He also had a wife, Rhoda, and 6 kids from previous relationships, so that $25 would have really needed to stretch. But when the big win came, Alex and Rhoda decided to spend 3 months living in a $1,000 a night hotel room in Las Vegas. They gambled, shopped, and dined constantly, and visited non-stop live shows, living the dream. But eventually they grew tired of the Vegas life. They bought a large trailer home in Florida and settled down. But drama soon came a-knocking. In true trailer park fashion, Rhoda accused her son of killing their dog and setting their car on fire after they withdrew his allowance. Not long after that, the Toths filed for bankruptcy in the aftermath of their Vegas adventure. To top it all off, they were convicted of tax fraud for falsifying gambling losses to avoid paying some of their lottery winnings to the government. In the years that followed, the downward spiral continued, and Alex was arrested multiple times for drug dealing and writing bad checks. Eventually, their fortune was so diminished that the Toths had to move in with Rhoda's son, the same one she'd previously accused of trying to kill her dog. After a short while in that less-than-ideal living situation, Alex Toth died, without even that original $25 to his name.
That's insane. That is insane. Just imagine going from 25, well, I can't remember the amount, but just go from having $25 in your account one day to millions. And the first thing you do is move to Vegas and start living in a $1,000 a night hotel. What in your mind, and these are trailer park folks, obviously, that had no money. So you go from the trailer park to the highest level of living just like that. Because all your mind thinks is, oh, I got to get money. I got to spend it. You know nothing about money. And that's eventually what happens. And you said money even tears your family apart now. You know, like money is good if you know what to do with it. But if you just want it just to improve your quality of living and to spend on stuff, money is going to make your life miserable. Trust me.
Amanda Clayton. Amanda Clayton won $1 million in the lottery in 2011, which might seem humble compared to other lottery winners. But for a single mom without a job living on welfare, $1 million can go a very long way.
Sure
that
can.
being said, people who win $1 million don't usually have much reason to continue claiming welfare. Amanda saw things differently, though, and continued to collect $200 every month in the form of government food assistance checks. When a reporter asked her about this, she doubled down, claiming that as she was still unemployed, there was really no reason she shouldn't receive welfare. In her words,
and I have bills to pay. I have 2 houses.
I have bills to pay. I have 2 houses.
Sorry.
Oh, wait a minute.
Unsurprisingly, the local families who really did need welfare didn't share her viewpoint, and public outrage ensued. In the aftermath, Amanda was arrested and charged with welfare fraud, and just a year after winning, died of a drug overdose. I guess it goes to show, recklessness and greed are a dangerous mix.
Like I said, it's all a mindset. You can have as much money in your account as you want, but if your mind is not set to handle that much money, like I said, she probably just did more drugs. She probably was just buying more ridiculous crap and still trying to collect free money from the government. Like, just ridiculous. Ridiculous.
David Lee Edwards. If you're going to win the lottery, it makes sense to spend some of your winnings on your interests. But if David Lee Edwards is anything to go by, pursuing your interest in medieval weapons may be a bad omen of things to come. In 2001, the Kentuckian who'd spent a third of his life in jail won a $27 million Powerball. But David...
Listen, you ain't even got to tell me what's about to happen here. 27, you go from being a jailbird to winning 27 million. Whatever you was doing to get you in jail, I guarantee he went and did more of that. And he went back to jail at some point. I can almost guarantee that. He might have killed somebody, let me see.
His first mistake was choosing to take his winnings in one lump sum. This always means a lower total, and of course, more opportunities for disastrous spending choices. David bought 2 homes right off the bat, one for $1.6 million and another for $600,000. But he didn't stop there. Far from it. He bought a Lamborghini Diablo, a Dodge Viper, a private jet, and a $35,000 Hummer golf cart. Save for the golf cart, those all are fairly normal rich people flexes. But as I mentioned, David was also into medieval weaponry and spent lavishly on a collection of around 200 antique swords and armor sets. But no amount of antique, sharpened steel could save David from his other relentless appetite. Drugs, which drained his bank as well as his health. Just 5 years after buying his winning ticket, he was broke, living in a storage unit. Soon after that, he died, leaving nothing behind for his daughter, who he'd promised to provide a great life for. So if you win big and want to do your family proud, avoid sword, shields, and syringes.
Okay, so I had him wrong. He went to jail for drug stuff. And what did I say in the very beginning of the video? If you do drugs and you get a bunch of money, you just gonna do that many more drugs. That is insane. That you go from if he won 27, I mean he probably got about 18 of it. 18 million, you spend that in 5 years. That's ridiculous. Ridiculous. I can't believe some people become this lucky. It's like always like the worst type of people win the lottery. Because you think about it, most people that are already rich don't even play the lottery because they're already rich. Most people that are in the middle class realize the chances of you winning the lottery are so low that most people don't even play. But it's like the lower class is the main class of people that plays the lottery because they have the biggest hopes and dreams that they can gain something for nothing. And those are the type of people that usually win, but those are the same type of people you see in the video that they lose it all within a couple years because they don't know what to do with it when they get it.
Martin Todd. Englishman Martin Todd bought a lotto ticket in 2000, but totally forgot about it until months later when he tuned into the TV lottery. The lottery runners were appealing to the winning ticket holder from weeks prior to come forward. Martin realized the winning numbers were the ones he'd bought, but he couldn't find the ticket anywhere. Despite correctly remembering the store, date, and exact time he'd bought the ticket, the piece of paper itself was nowhere to be found. When he got hold of the lottery company, he learned the true meaning of devastation. Since he'd failed to file a lost ticket claim within 30 days of his purchase, he got nothing. To top it all off, the stress of the ensuing years of unsuccessful legal battles attempting to claim the money cost him his marriage. It's safe to say Martin Todd probably felt pretty dumb for not keeping that ticket safe.
Man,
Michael Carroll. Aged only 19, English garbageman Michael Carroll won $15.8 million in 2002 and soon traded the trash truck for an array of other expensive cars. All of which he parked up at his newly acquired mansion, of course. But Michael had a bit of an unfortunate
that you see a trend here. The first thing people do when they get money, when people go from being the poor people to rich people, the first thing they do in every scenario that you see, they go and buy a big house and they go buy a bunch of toys. You have never heard one story in here where they say they took their money and invested it into some mutual funds, some index funds, invested it into maybe a business, invested it into anything. You did not hear the word invest not one time in this whole video, right? Because the first thing people do when they get money is they want to spend it and buy the things that they always dreamed of having. And the first things is usually a house and cars.
taste for destruction and aggression. He was known for throwing rocks at strangers as a teenager, as well as all sorts of other mayhem. He channeled this energy into the destruction derby site he built in his mansion's backyard, and soon he'd smashed up countless expensive cars, as well as the mansion itself.
This is another thing. When you're a trailer park boy and you could just afford bigger stuff, you're going to still treat it. This is the way you treated your stuff growing up. So it doesn't matter how nice of things you get, you're going to treat it the same way because that's what your brain is used to doing.
He also began consuming $3,000 worth of Colombian dancing powder on a daily. His mischievous drug-fueled escapades led to local police setting up a hotline specifically for neighbors with Michael Carroll-related complaints. As the richest nuisance in England, his love of gold, drugs, escorts, and destruction soon saw him totally broke, and he returned to the garbage man life. But he certainly had a good time while it lasted. Andrew Jackson Whitaker Jr.
Oh, man.
He may share half a name with a former president, but that's about as far as anything resembling presidential wisdom went for Andrew Jackson Whitaker Jr. The West Virginian won an unbelievable $314 million in 2002, but had an odd...
$314 million? How did you go broke from 300? This dude had to be buying like private jets. He had to be tricking off on prostitutes. He probably got to be doing everything. You have to be buying ridiculous amount of material objects. You have to be doing hella drugs. You have to be paying for hella prostitutes. What else could you be buying that you could spend 300? He probably bought some yachts. Like he probably brought, let me see.
Habit of keeping massive chunks of it in cash form.
Oh, that's too. cash is the depreciating. Cash, the longer, if your cash just sits somewhere, it's worth less and less. Cash depreciates over time. You have to put when you get a large amount of money, you have to put it into some sort of investment that returns you more money. Even safe to put it in like a dividend stock that might not grow a lot, but at least you'll get your return on your money in the form of dividends. You're not just sitting there collecting dust and losing its value. So I can see that.
This $545,000 that he kept in his car was stolen in a single break-in. More
In his car? Why would you?
lumps of cash were taken in similar circumstances, but the biggest losses of all revolved around a very familiar type of place. Casinos. Andrew had a serious gambling problem, and his big bet losses became so bad that he was sued by a casino for bouncing $1.5 million in checks. With endlessly costly legal battles with other people he owed money to, as well as near constant charitable donations he could no longer afford, his enormous fortune soon dwindled away. The full $314 million was gone in just 4 years. But hey, at least he got to keep his cowboy hats.
4 years? How do you go through $314 million in 4 years? Bro, everybody else, I don't even really want to see the rest of the video after this. What? In 4 years? I'm just upset now. I'm just upset. I don't even care. I don't even care to give an explanation. Just play the video, man.
Callie Rogers. It's pretty hard to be mentally prepared for a lottery win, especially when you're only 16. But after winning $3 million in 2003, 16-year-old Callie Rogers insisted she'd spend it wisely. Over the following years, however, she bought 4 houses, a bunch of cars, and had multiple expensive boob jobs and other cosmetic surgeries. She also got into the habit of buying gifts in the form of cars for whoever her boyfriend was at the time. Like other winners with a lack of guidance, she developed an unfortunate habit for the, white powdered variety of things, which proved both expensive and unconducive to logical decision making. Now she's gone through enough of her winnings that she has to work as a cleaner to provide for her kids. That said, she claims that now, for the first time, she feels like she has everything she needs. That may be true, but I'm sure having $1 million or so still laying around wouldn't go amiss. How would you avoid these pitfalls if you won them?
I'm done, man. I don't even want to talk no more. Hey, listen, leave a thumbs up, man, for me, please. If you like the video, comment down below comment about that dude that lost $314 million in 4 years, man. Comment about that. What are y'all thoughts on that? Because that's ridiculous to me. I'm just upset. Comment, subscribe. It's your boy, Chucky Mike. I'm out.
Perfect.